Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Chase, a Rocky Mountain ATVMC. Thank you for checking into our YouTube channel. So today we have the new SG12 Enduro from Gaerne. Now, if you've owned a pair of SG12s in the past, or if you've watched our previous product spotlights on that boot, I want to get this out of the way up front. The only difference between these and the moto version is the sole design. Everything else besides that is identical. So if you've liked Gaerne's in the past, but maybe you've just been looking for more of an off-road sole, now you have an option for that with the SG12. In fact, I was talking to Bob over at Gaerne, had a lengthy conversation with him, and they actually had Cody Webb. If you don't know who Cody Webb is, you should. Go watch some videos of that guy. He is an incredible enduro rider. But they did some testing with Cody, and looking at this sole compared to just the regular moto version, it's pretty subtle. And my first reaction was like, is that really gonna make that big of a difference? And in Cody's Webb's words, yes. They said, you guys need to make this enduro sole. Just if you're doing that type of riding where you're planting your feet on rocks, logs, or maybe you're doing GNCC back east, you get in a situation where you got to get off the bike and push the motorcycle, you're going to want this extra little grip that this lug sole is going to give you. Also, what's nice too about this new enduro sole is that it doesn't add any height to the boot. I've seen some other off-road boots that, the sole gets pretty thick. This one's the same. It's nice and low profile. So if you want to buy this boot and you do a little combination of motocross and your off-road, you can use this boot for both. You're going to be just fine. But if you have been looking for an enduro sole on SG12, well, they have answered the call. Now, one thing I will say about Gaerne's as well, because I own a pair of SG12s, I put a lot of time in mine, is that what they're known for is the durability and the quality, and I think that's one thing about these that is really hard to beat. They're all made in Italy, and if you're just looking for one boot that you want to buy that is going to last you for a very, very long time, I would say get a pair of SG12s because they're phenomenal. They're extremely durable, they're a comfortable boot, and they're just built extremely well. Now, as far as the fitment goes on an SG12, so the toe box, it's a popular boot for riders that have wider feet. It's got a lot of room in the toe box area. The fitment, as far as the length, is going to be true to size. I wear size 9 in these. I wear size 9 in all other boots. I will say, however, here's the one thing that I've noticed that I would recommend if you buy a pair of SG12s is get a better insole. That's the only drawback that I've noticed, is that the insole in these is pretty thin, and the sole on the SG12 is pretty stiff. And so over time, that insole starts to break down a little bit. If you get a little bit better insole, it's got a little bit more cush to it, it made a pretty good difference with my SG12. So that would be my recommendation. But also remember too, we have our fit guarantee. If you buy a pair of these, if you don't like how they fit, if you need to exchange it for a different size, we give you free shipping both ways on your first exchange. Just make sure they're in brand new, unused condition. And we do that to make sure you do get the size and the fit that you are looking for. But looking at it, like I said, the construction is what these are known for. So all leather construction here on the bottom coming up to the top. You have a lot of hard plastic on here as well. The SG12 is pretty stiff out of the box, so they do take a good amount of time to break in. So that is one thing that you need to be patient with. But after they break in, you get a good amount of flexibility. What I also like too is that when you put these on for the first time, you'll notice this right away. They have a lot of padding on the inside around the ankle area. And what I appreciate about that is how well it holds your foot and your ankle in place. Little to zero heel float with these. And if you've never heard that term before, it just means that your heel stays stuck and sucked into the bottom of the boot, or does it rise up and move a lot when you're riding or walking? These hold that ankle in place really, really well. But fantastic construction as far as the buckles go. My favorite buckle design of any boot. Very simple to use. You just take your strap, you drop it right over the top, and slap it down. And what I like about these is that they work really well even when they're dirty. I've never had one of these buckles get sticky on me, and that is one thing that I really do appreciate. Now, as you work your way up to the top, let me undo these buckles real quick. Buckles are all replaceable, by the way. So a little bit of Velcro up here at the top, but when you open that, you have their Acronos gaiter on the inside. You can see here. Like I said, you can wash these things just fine. It's moisture wicking, antimicrobial on the inside. I already mentioned all the padding that they have down there around the ankle area. Another thing that is kind of unique about these is that you notice that when I open this shin plate, kind of hard to see, actually easier to see from here. You got these 3 screws right here. This shin plate is adjustable. So if you have really big calves and say you're wearing a knee brace or a little bit thicker knee guard, you can actually make this shin plate larger to just help the boot overlap a little bit more. So that is one thing that I really do like about these. So honestly though, even with just the shin plate as it is out of the box, it's still plenty big. I would say this probably has the largest calf opening of all the boots out there. So I have a 6-inch calf circumference, I wear knee braces, and I just leave it on the stock setting. But if you're bigger than that, if you need to, you can adjust that shin plate. Let me close this back up real quick. All right, so as far as protection goes, that's a big deal here. Again, premium boot, you're making an investment. So they use what is called the Razorback strut system. And so you can see that you have this separate piece right here that wraps around the ankle. And what I like is that you have this pivot point right here on the medial and the lateral side. But what's kind of unique about this, and you can see this when you actually flex the boot, is that it actually glides right here. It's just not a single pivot. Instead, it glides back and forth, and the purpose for that is just to try and keep your ankle and everything in the correct position. So when I bend that, you can actually see that whole system working, how it's gliding back and forth. And then when you look at the back of the boot here, you can see how all that comes together. You do have this reinforced heel cup right here, a lot of padding, a lot of hard plastic there. And if you did hyperextend this far, you do have this point right here where that Razorback and this will actually contact each other and create a stop for you. On the inside, you've got a lot of rubber. So you've got this rubber that comes all the way up the side. One thing I do like about the SG12s that I've noticed as well is that they do give you a good amount of grip when you're squeezing the motorcycle, which I really like. And with all that rubber, again, it's just going to add to the durability factor as well. So last couple things we need to mention. We already talked about that sole design again. Just a little bit more of that enduro off-road sole. So we talked about that. If that's the type of ride that you're going to be doing, there you go. It's a dual compound sole, shock absorbing, very, very durable. I honestly have hardly any wear on the pair of SG12s that I have, and I probably have about 40 hours in them. And then it's a stitched on sole. The sole is replaceable. You just have to take it to a shoe cobbler. You can buy the sole, take it to a cobbler, they can put a new sole on for you. And then one other thing that some people ask about is you have this little steel toe cap right here, and there's a little bit of confusion out there about what this is for. So it does add some protection to the boot, you could say, but the toe box, you can see, is very hard, so great impact protection there. But this steel toe cap is actually designed to help protect the boot, you know, when you're kicking things. So if you are riding enduro and you're planting your foot a lot, and the reason for that is because this part of the sole, you can see there's multiple layers that are glued together. And so maybe you're using it for motocross and you're racing and you're sitting there and you're kicking your gate to pack in the dirt and kind of move everything around. This is just to help protect that sole in the front so you don't accidentally get those layers to start separating. So that's what that is actually there for. Now, one thing about the sole with the SG12 I will say is that it's pretty stiff, like I said, give it time to break in, but compared to some of the other boots that are out there, they don't have as much peg feel. And what I mean by that is when you stand on the foot pegs, a little bit harder to feel your brake lever, to feel your shift lever, or your brake pedal and your shift lever, but again, it's just a muscle memory thing. Once you're riding these enough, you get used to them, you're gonna be just fine. But overall, like I said, with the SG12, if you were to ask me what is the most durable boot that is out there, this is gonna be right at the top of the list. Comfortable, like I said, the insole is the only thing that I would get differently if you were buying a pair of these. But aside from that, if you've been looking at SG12s, you're an off-road rider, do a lot of enduro style riding, well, now they have a sole that is just for you. If you have questions or comments, we'd love to get those answered. So make sure to leave those in the comment section below. To grab your pair today, click on the link or head over to RockyMountainATVMC.com. There is just the black colorway available as of now. They might add more colorways later. We'll find out. But again, questions, comments, leave those below. As always, get subscribed to the Rocky Mountain YouTube channel if you like this video. We ship for free over $75. I am Chase, and we'll see you on the trails.